Morning Going.
Super Bowl.
Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans. This is Fitz The Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick.
Struck him.
All live from the capital of the Commonwealth, where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now,
I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz The Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good morning. What is it? Wednesday, September 17th morning. Welcome in to Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside in just a little bit right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, on the ESPN Richmond app and ESPNRichmond.com. You can also watch the stream live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. As always, just type in ESPN Richmond, will pop right on up, and you can watch the stream live. You can be part of the stream by liking, commenting, subscribing, do all of that fun stuff. You can also call or text in 804-327-0888. You can call in, text in, be part of the show on this Wednesday morning. A Talk of the Town Wednesday coming up in hour number 2. Huguenots quarterback Charles Scott Jr. He's the Talk of the Town Student Athlete of the Week following his 409 passing yard performance last Thursday in Huguenots' 58-0 win over Clover Hill. But before we dive into any of that, I need to talk about this, and it has to do with the tush push. And the tush push is something that has found its way into the headlines, and honestly, it's going to find its way into the headlines each and every Sunday because it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere for right now, right? It's going to be in the news all season long, though, and then we're going to have to talk about it again at the start of next season when they either vote to ban it or don't vote to ban it. Every time the Eagles line up and run it, whether it's against the Chiefs, whether it's against the Dolphins, whoever it is against, it's going to be scrutinized to the nth degree, right? I mean, look, remember just a few months ago, NFL owners nearly got rid of it. They nearly voted this play out of the league, got 22 votes to ban it. Needed 24. 2 votes. 2 votes, all that was standing between the Eagles not being able to run this play that has a 95+% success conversion percentage. So here it is for another season. And at the time, me personally, I was all for sticking around with it. I had a simple stance. If you can't stop it, don't take your ball and go home. Learn how to stop the play. But Sunday's game did make me rethink that just a little bit because I realized the NFL's not just football. It's also an entertainment product. And the problem is when it's 3rd and 2 late in the fourth quarter, the Chiefs need one last stop, maybe to give their offense one last chance. But it's 3rd and 2. The Eagles have the ball late in the fourth. We all know what's going to happen. It's going to be a tush push. And then if they don't get that, it'll be another tush push. Game over. There's really no drama. There's no suspense. They have a 100% conversion rate if it's 3rd and 2 and they have 2 chances at getting the first down. Like, it's just that simple. Jordan Mailata, he said it on WIP up in Philadelphia. He said it best. He had a good take on it yesterday. This was him on WIP.
I understand it. I understand the outrage. What I don't understand is them using it as an excuse to why we won the game. That kind of irks me a little bit. That pisses me off because we give so much to this game and to kind of base off a short yardage play that is a football play, and say that we won the game off that, but not how our defense played, not how our special teams have played, putting us in those positions. I think it's bullcrap. I just think it's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish, man. It makes my blood boil just thinking about it.
I love the word rubbish coming from an Australian accent. Just 10 out of 10. But look, he is right. It is a football play. At the end of the day, it is a football play. But this league is more than just being a football play. It's more than just X's and O's. It's why it has become this billion-dollar product that rules sports talk and it rules everything because it's also an entertainment product. And while the Eagles defense was the real reason they won yesterday, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. the tush push was just as critical in sealing that game and giving the Eagles the win. On Get Up earlier this week, Greeny and Dan Graziano, they hit the nail on the head. In my opinion, they were spot on with what happened. It's not that the play shouldn't exist. It's just that it needs to be officiated consistently. There was supposed to be a soundbite there, but there was no soundbite there. So we're going along with it. They essentially just said it needs to be officiated consistently and correctly. If they're able to do that, then they understand it staying around. But as it stands now, sure, it might be rubbish that, the media is saying that is the reason they won. It was because of the defense, but also at the same time, the fact that it's not being officiated consistently and correctly is a huge issue with the play in and of itself. And look, I can already hear it. But Jack, it's not illegal. Why don't other teams just run it? And here's why. Some coaches just flat out refuse to run it. They've got a philosophical problem with the play in and of itself. Others like Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore, heck, former Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinators, we know they don't have a philosophical problem with the play. They understand that you need a Jalen Hurts type of player, heck, even Jalen Hurts himself, in order to run the play. And Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, he pointed out the obvious. It's a violent play. It puts your quarterbacks in harm's way, and most teams aren't going to take that risk. And I get where the Eagles are coming from. You feel like the league is out to get you. The league that you've had one of the most successful runs in the modern NFL with Nick Sirianni. You have 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Lombardi trophy, and you've still got the most unstoppable play in football history. I get it. You think the league has it out for you. It's clear. The numbers tell you they do. But here's the truth. The tush push isn't the reason the Eagles win. It's the secondary reason. It's the tertiary reason. It's whatever the word for the fourth reason is. And as long as it's around, it's going to keep this debate alive every single Sunday. We'll likely come back to it the next time the Eagles run it to ice a game and win it, whether it's against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl or whether it's against the Dolphins in some meaningless Week 17 game or something along those lines. That's just the way it is, and that's how this play is going to be characterized and looked at through the media's lens, through the fans' lens. Until it gets banned, it will always be a huge point of contention. All right, let's update you with what you may have missed in the wide world of sports overnight.
This is your Fitz the Bill morning update. Getting you on some of the biggest stories in sports.
All right. After uproar following Tom Brady sitting in the coach's booth on Monday night, the NFL has ruled that he broke no rules. The NFL stated that Tom Brady is prohibited from going to a team facility for practices or production meetings, but the former star quarterback is allowed to sit in the coach's booth according to the league, and he can still talk with opposing coaches and players as long as it's off-site or virtually. The Minnesota Vikings placed their running back Aaron Jones on IR following a hamstring injury he suffered on Sunday night. Being placed on the injured reserve means that Jones will miss at least 4 weeks, and Jordan Mason moves into the RB1 role. Keeping with the injuries, the Bengals officially placed Joe Burrow on the injured reserve. In addition, the Bengals signed 2 veterans, Sean Clifford and Mike White, as quarterbacks to the practice squad, and Brett Rippon was promoted to the active roster to act as the backup behind Jake Browning. The LA Rams are dealing with an injury themselves. Sean McVay says he tore his plantar fascia while coaching the Rams to victory over the Titans on Sunday. The Vikings, while dealing with the J.J. McCarthy injury, signed quarterback Desmond Ridder. In MLB, we are on Big Dumper Watch. Cal Raleigh hit his 55th home run of the season in the second inning against the Royals, sending him past Mickey Mantle's mark for a switch hitter. That record had stood since 1961. Then Raleigh hit his 56th in the next inning, matching the club record that Ken Griffey first established in 1997 and matched the following year. Raleigh is in rare company with the kid. Shohei Ohtani had himself a night on the bump, throwing 5 no-hit innings, and he hit his 50th home run. The Dodgers fell, but Shohei did become the first player to hit 50 home runs and strike out 50 batters. in a single season. And in the WNBA playoffs, the Seattle Storm, with their backs up against the wall, they pull out the 86-83 win over the Las Vegas Aces to snap the Aces' 17-game win streak. So that's what you may have missed in the wide world of sports overnight. And we've got a great show coming up. Dr. Jose Reyes from Ortho Virginia joining us on the other side of the break. He specializes in sports medicine, and he's here to talk a little bit about knee injuries, which feels like it is perfect timing with everything swirling around Jaden Daniels. So Dr. Jose Reyes from Ortho Virginia will be joining us on the other side of this break. And as a reminder, Talk of the Town is coming up in hour number 2, 9 a.m. We catch up with Charles Scott and Charles Scott Jr., Huguenots quarterback, who's coming off of a huge performance against Clover Hill on Thursday, 409 yards, 14 of 19 through the air, 4 touchdowns. And at 9:30 in hour number 2, we catch up with Russ Huesman, the Richmond football head coach, following their loss down at Chapel Hill, and talk to him about them getting set for their home opener against VMI in week 4 of the season. That is Saturday. You can hear that game right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Russ Huesman will be joining at 9:30 this Wednesday morning. So keep it locked right here, 106.1 ESPN Richmond. We are where Richmond talks sports. Dr. Jose Reyes from Ortho Virginia joining us on the other side.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN.
To get up to a $5 bonus on your first take. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first take. How would you like a free dinner? That's right, free dinner. Hi, I'm Jeff Troutz with the Insurance Stock, and I've been telling you for years that nobody beats the insurance stock prices. Now, our proof. Just bring your current auto insurance policy to the insurance stock location nearest you. If we can't beat your price, I'll buy you dinner with the registry of your choice. So now is the perfect time to shop your auto insurance, because I would save you a ton of money on your car insurance, and dinner's on me. Either way, you get paid. Our competitors like to say they can save money on your car insurance. Go to the insurance stock that has a low price guarantee. So no matter who you're with, we will beat the price. It's guaranteed. By the way, I'll throw in your own personal agent for free. Just bring your current auto insurance policy to the insurance stock location nearest you. I would save you a ton of money on your car insurance, and dinner's on me. So call us today and see what I say. Nobody beats the insurance stock.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torcas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for the protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support. Protect your liver and give it the support that it At the River from New Nordic, part of your daily wellness routine. Find At the River in stores at your local CVS Minor Grocery or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
This is Freddie and Harry. I know other teams I didn't post their run in Alabama, they seem powerless. Like they're afraid to stand up and be counted. That they want to be too pretty and not gully and not gutty enough. Nick Saban's teams were pretty, and they need to get gully, they did. Any team worth their weight in salt. When it's time to get down and dirty, they're not afraid to do it. 13, 14 games in killing the Morton. The dirty the game gets, the more they want no part of it. And that's something the coach better fix. Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. 61 ESPN traffic.
An accident at the left-hand drive stop heading south on 95 near Chiefsville. Cutters in the lanes from Rose Road. Wilson suggested to the west on Ferry Street Road between Houston's East Street Church. Bloomington traffic heading south on Route 1 between Unity and Steve's Oxford Road. And we're seeing a crash on Brook Road.
Richmond, crank up 106.1 ESPN for live play-by-play, blistering hot takes, and non-stop action. Your ticket to the hype. Stay dialed in.
Welcome back in 106.1 ESPN Richmond. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick here on Fitz The Bill this Wednesday, September 17th morning. And we are joined now, Dr. Jose Reyes, Ortho Virginia, specializing in some sports medicine, joining us on this Wednesday morning to chat a little bit about some knee injuries, which feels like it's coming at the perfect time. Dr. Jose Reyes, thank you so much for taking some time out of your morning to join with us. How are you doing? Feels like this knee chat is coming at the perfect time with Jaden Daniels.
Good morning, Jack. Thank you for having me in your show. It's an honor to be here with you guys. Yes, it's football season, so unfortunately we start seeing some knee injuries right away. It doesn't take too long. I can share with you that in the last week I already saw a teenager that got a bad injury in his knee and torn one of the ligaments inside of the knee, and he'll be out for the season.
Ooh. How do those injuries pop up? Like a knee injury, it is so common. Is it just because it's so easy to injure?
Well, if we're talking specifically about football, it's just the nature of the sport is, it's a fast speed when they're running and a lot of cutting, pivoting on the knee, associated with the trauma sometimes that they have when they get tackled from the outside, from the inside, that put a lot of stress and forces in the knee that the knee joint is not designed for.
What sport has maybe the worst knee injuries? I feel like soccer might be up there.
Soccer has some, I'll say football probably has a little more just because the contact associated with football, you don't have it in soccer, but definitely soccer has also a good incidence of ligament tears. There are ligament inside of the knee called the ACL, the anterior cruciate ligament, that can tear, and that's a devastating injury for athletes because it requires surgery, and they'll be out, sports for 4 to 6 months sometimes. Also, they can tear a cartilage called the meniscus, and that also is a common injury in soccer. You see it also in football as well. But yes, those are common injuries that take a little while to recover from and will take the athletes out of the season.
Dr. Reyes from Ortho Virginia joining us on this Wednesday morning. You mentioned the buzzwords that I think every football fan is afraid to hear: ACL injury, meniscus injury. Jaden Daniels, quarterback of the Washington Commanders, going through some knee stuff himself. According to reports, he had the MRI last week. It came back negative, and it seems like it's just a pain tolerance thing. But from your perspective, when it comes to knee injuries in professional athletes, when it is your favorite player working through knee injuries, how worrisome is it?
It's scary. We all remember RG3, right? That was a great quarterback for now the Commanders, and he had that bad injury, torn his ACL. Depending who you ask, there were some questions that they brought him in too soon when he wasn't ready, and then he re-injured his knee. But it's a scary injury for athletes because it's the physical pain they go through, but also it affects their confidence when they go back in field. Yes, it depends on the injury itself. It's just a mild sprain. It might recover in 3-4 weeks, but if it's even a significant sprain, a high-grade sprain of a ligament inside of the knee called the MCL, it can take 12 weeks to heal. And God forbid, if you tear your ACL, it's just the nature of that injury. You lose stability in your knee for running, for pivoting. And not everybody has to have surgery for an ACL tear, but high performance athletes, professional athletes, definitely have to have that treated surgically to restore the anatomy of the knee so they are able to play at the high level they're used to. So definitely it's a serious condition, especially when you tear the ACL ligament. And every athlete fears that because the time that will take to return them to play.
So with Jaden Daniels, or just kind of in general with professional athletes or athletes in and of itself, when they are playing through something like a sprain or something along those lines, is there a higher risk for injury at that point?
Well, it depends on the degree. If they are having a mild sprain and they are rehabbing at the same time, and they are using braces to protect their knee, there might be a slight increase of injury for that. However, the professional athletes teams, they have a very, very good medical team that assess them, and they have them practice and see how much they can do. And if they feel like they are not ready and they are taking a higher risk of injuring the athlete further, they usually hold them back until they're ready to resume.
Dr. Reyes from Ortho Virginia joining us this Wednesday morning. Doctor, how do you go about examining a knee injury in and of itself? When they first come in, how do you assess everything? Is it immediately an MRI like we hear with NFL players? It feels like they're always getting these MRIs. What's the process in examining a knee injury?
Well, not necessarily. I think the scenario is different because professional athletes are professional athletes, that they are very expensive, athletes. So we want to know right away, but for regular human beings like us, it doesn't work necessarily like that. Sometimes it is required to order an MRI right away, but the majority of the time it is not. We examine the knee base, observation is the first step. You just look at the patient's leg and joint, see how much is well and bruising there is. Then we go with palpation and start putting pressure and examining the areas where patients might have more severe tenderness, because that gives us an idea. Is that a medial meniscus, the meniscus in the inside, the meniscus in the outside? Did the patient broke a bone in the kneecap that we call the patella? And then we do some specific maneuvers to check ligaments stability, also to check the meniscus. And we assess range of motion, how much mobility the patient's joint have, because you should have normal mobility if it's not a serious injury. And also we assess patient's gait. We see the patient walking and see, is the patient limping? Is the patient able to walk normally? And even farther, if the patients are walking normal, but they still have a little discomfort, sometimes we have them jog a little bit in the office to see what happened when we put a little more load in the joint, a little more impact. Is the patient, the athlete, able to tolerate that or not? And, based on the exam that we do, also the way the knee feels as well, and lack of mobility associated, accompanied with x-rays findings, we make decisions. Do you need to be in a brace? Go and work with physical therapy. That's a very common intervention to help patients to recover. Or is there a need to obtain further images like an MRI? Because if you highly suspecting that a patient torn an ACL, probably it's a good idea to get the MRI sooner than later, but it's very important to restore the motion of the patient. So therapy is very important along with the MRI at the beginning of the treatment.
Are all ACL tears created the same? Because the reason I asked, JMU football, they have a quarterback, Alonzo Barnett. He tore his ACL November 30th, and he was back starting for JMU football the following season, week 1, 9 months to the day since he tore his ACL. And that just blows my mind, right? Because you hear about ACLs, it takes a year to recover. Are all ACL tears, ACL tears, are they all created kind of equally, or are they different severities to tears?
Definitely there could be different severities to tear. Like you could have a partial tear versus a full tear. Some patients could have a little sprain. The problem is that when you have even a partial tear that takes more than 50, 60% of a tendon, the ACL, we know, doesn't heal well. Difference that the PCL, the posterior cruciate ligament, if you have an injury where the PCL is the only ligament injured, what we call an isolated PCL injury, we know that that ligament healed very well and will resist load and mobility without providing instability. The ACL is not like that, and it's just the biomechanics of the knee and the forces that ligament tolerates. But to answer your question, when you analyze, because there have been millions of studies on biomechanics and 3D models comparing what happened in the momentum of the knee when athletes tear the ACL, and normally is a combination of planted your foot, some component of rotation to the inside, and there is a momentum where we call the knee going valgus, where patients see my knee buckles to the inside, right? And then that particular motion of the knee buckling to the inside with a component of rotation produce ACL tears. So females compared with males, because the way our quadricep and hamstrings ratio is, females are more prone to tear ACLs than males. So basketball is a big injury, is a big sport for females tearing the ACL. So we focus very much in squatting, one leg squatting, and do a vertical squat without letting your knee to collapse to the inside, because that's the killer motion.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. What are some knee injury prevention strategies that you recommend for athletes when just so they can avoid getting a season-ending one?
Definitely strengthening is a big thing. Strengthening your quadricep muscle, hamstrings muscle, calf muscles, and your core, the muscles around your belly, along with your hips. That is very important. It's very important to work on flexibility, joint motion. It's important to work on balance. Outside of football, the FIFA many years ago created a program called FIFA 11 Plus. That was a program to decrease a ratio of injuries in soccer around the world. And it wasn't just knee injuries, it was hamstring tears, hip flexors. But due to this prevention and combination of exercises, stretches, conditioning, they decreased the ratio of injuries around the lower extremity by 80%. That was huge. Wow. So definitely a combination of strengthening, mobility, and balance. That's what you really want, and master that, squatting position with your knees straight going down, avoiding that collapse to the inside. That's very important in prevention.
Dr. Reyes, where can listeners go to schedule an appointment with Ortho Virginia if they have knee injuries, if they have knee concerns, whether they're an athlete or if they're not an athlete?
Well, in our high tech world that we live, orthovirginia.com will guide you in different paths. Depends where you are. Are you in the central region, Richmond, or in Northern Virginia, Lynchburg? We also have some orthopedic organ cares called Ortho on Call that are associated to Ortho Virginia. But if you go on orthovirginia.com, you will get phone numbers and different ways to schedule appointments online.
Awesome. Appreciate the time so much. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Thank you so much for carving out some time for us.
Thank you, Jack, for having me in your show. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course.
It was an honor.
Of course. There goes Dr. Jose Reyes from Ortho Virginia joining us this morning to chat a little bit about some knee injuries and other things that occur in athletes. Appreciate him taking some of his time out of his morning to chat with us. All right, let's get our last break in here, set you up and bring it to news or snooze as we continue on with Fitz the Bill on this Wednesday morning.
Cooler fall temperatures are coming. It is beautiful, so clean with 18 and of course just a few minutes into the Mechanicsville. It offers a spacious driving range, practice fields, bundles, and professionally maintained golf course. It's the afternoon off. Or schedule your tea time today by calling 804-769-8838. Or reserve your spot online at GreenfieldGolf.com. Greenfield Golf Club, RVO's best kept secret.
Cashback Center Field 1, Gaston, New Jersey, Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $300.
You put gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this here.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free
app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Coach Saban here, and let me tell you, every second matters. Preparation is everything, and that's why I trust Kidde Smoke Alarms.
And as North America's #1 home fire safety brand, they're built to respond over 25% faster to smoke detection. Kidde helps protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. #1 claim based on total household installations as of December 2023. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Amber and Ian.
I think Jackson Dart is actually in a great situation if the Brian Daboll seat is not hot. If the coach feels confident in his job and in his job security, then he'll feel a lot more confident allowing Jackson Dart to sit and learn because he's got the time to do that. But if Brian Daboll doesn't have the time to do that, then we're going to see Jackson Dart maybe before we should.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on Sirius XM Channel 80. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Before, when stuff like this happened with the Patriots or the Astros, it's cheaters to champions. And it feels like with Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, we're just kind of like, okay, yeah, they cheated, but they still won. I don't know why with this specific instance, we're not as outraged as we have been in the past when it comes to other cheating to championship scandals.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
Taking a look at today's weather forecast, it's currently 61 degrees, but feels like 55, with a high today of 68 and a low of 59. We're seeing some light rain forecasted to continue throughout the hour, coming on and off throughout the morning, and more rain in the afternoon. Temperatures are expected to rise tomorrow with sunny skies, a high of 80 and a low of 62.
Stats optional. Opinions guaranteed. Matt Josephs brings you Border to Border, 3 to 4 on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports, news, or snooze.
Good morning, everybody. It's news or snooze time.
You're here.
Yeah, I know. You shut me out.
I kicked you out. Yep.
No, you were on your Brian Kelly. You didn't like the questions I was asking.
Yeah, I said that's what we're asking first. Speaking of coaches that are a little temperamental, next segment we're diving into the Dabo Sweeney press conference.
I can't wait. I have a lot of things. I'm gonna have to make it radio appropriate based on what I was saying in the text messages to my friend. I have a friend who's a Clemson fan. Swears by Dabo. I've been enjoying this. Love to see a good crash out. All right, up first, Arch Manning says his issues and poor play is more mental than physical.
Snoozeworthy. Arch, let me break this to you real quick. I don't care if it's mental. I don't care if it's physical. All I care about is you stink.
What was it on the Anchorman? We don't believe you.
Come on, man. We don't believe. But even if it, sure, it might be mental. I think that's arguably worse than having physical problems. Like, if you have the yips, look at what the yips have done to so many great players. Ben Simmons refused to shoot layups because he was afraid of getting fouled and going to the free throw line because he had the yips. Markelle Fultz I don't even know where he is anymore. He was supposed to be a surefire, can't miss number 1 overall pick in the NBA. He got the yips. Look at the pitchers that have come and gone because they got the yips. That's a pretty big thing if it's mental.
If you got the yips in college, I have concerns.
If you got the yips in college with the last name Manning, you got an issue.
I'm telling you, he's adopted. I'm sorry. I don't believe it, man. I could have never imagined with his physical traits and the last name. I mean, he's been to a Manning camp.
He's got good
every year of his life.
Well, that's the thing where I think it is actually mental and he just has the yips is because he has the physical traits. Like, he was a good thrower of the football in high school. He is a good athlete. I think it's all mental. I think he cannot get over everything that is weighing down on him.
I hate to say it, but Snoop Dogg's got CJ Stroud in the league. He was in his little league. I need the Mannings to get Art straight, man.
Oh, so far. Snoop Dogg 1, Manning 0.
I'm just putting it out there. Number 2, Mike McDaniel has the hottest coaching seat per CBS Sports.
Snoozeworthy.
Yeah, like, duh.
No, I just wanted to talk a little hot seats here because Mike McDaniel, if you had told me he would quickly take over the mantle as the number 1 hottest seat this early into the season.
Dolphin Dave told us.
He did. I should have listened to him. I was a Mike McDaniel believer. I'm now kind of a Mike McDaniel hater for how he's been treating these press conferences.
I'm a Mike McDaniel concerned former supporter. Like, yo, what did he say?
Yeah, the crash out. The crash out is up there with Dabo crash out.
In order to win, we have to not lose or something.
Yeah, and
like
it's just
that.
like, bro, these were funny when you were winning.
Yeah.
They aren't funny when you're losing. Like, take this seriously. The fact that Brian Daboll is no longer the coach on the hottest seat is impressive. Like, you did that in 2 weeks. Brian Daboll has been on the hot seat for 2 seasons, and you took him down for the number 1 hottest seat within 2 weeks of a football season. Congratulations, Mike McDaniel, but it's not a shock.
All right, number 3, Clemson coach Dabo Swinney defends program after slow start.
And this is a little teaser for what's coming up in the next segment because this is newsworthy. Mainly for the level of crash out that he went through.
Yeah, mainly for I'm a big believer in sometimes we're so high up that some things don't need to be addressed with that kind of energy. So I was using rap as my instance, like Nas. Nas is ascended so far in the rap game that when people insult him and want to draw him into battles, he doesn't have to respond. Jay-Z's the same way. Michael Jordan in sports. He's so high on the ladder. When you say he's not the GOAT, he doesn't have to say anything. I wish LeBron would stop saying stuff, right? Like, you don't have to comment on that.
Yeah. MJ
Dabo,
doesn't comment on it. Don't comment.
As a program and a head coach, as an organization or whatever you want to call Clemson, dude, you don't need to answer for an 0-2 start in that manner, right? Like, the way he was acting was really embarrassing to me personally. I was like, dude, we would have never seen Nick Saban stoop to that level of like energy with an 0-2 start. Like, I think it would have been addressed. Obviously, you don't like it, but like, this came off really whiny.
So
it's on TV right now.
It was like a minute. It was an hour-long press conference where the whole thing was just kind of whiny. Clemson started out 1-2, and they started out 1-2,
Okay.
and they've now fallen out of the AP top 25. And I mean, it's been rough, and it was an hour-long presser. It got whinier and whinier. We got this clip from Brooks Austin BA on Twitter, where it kind of summed up about a minute or so of Dabo Swinney's just whiny rant.
Yeah, I forgot about the one win. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay. Who was that one win even against?
It was against like one of the lower levels.
No, I thought it was LSU. No, they lost to LSU.
They lost to LSU and they lost to Georgia Tech. It was against the lower level team they had sandwiched in between. It didn't start out too well then either.
That's right. It was Troy, and they were down 16-0.
Yeah.
That's right. And then they eked out the win 27-16. Congratulations, I guess. But trouble in Clemson. This is what it sounded like. Dabo Swinney in his press conference yesterday. It was quite rough.
Oh yeah. You know what? I totally missed the signal and thought you were playing that.
Oh.
And I am playing that. So give me a second. Look,
it's just like
we didn't have our pre-production meeting.
Dabo really starting to feel the heat. Dabo's really starting to feel the heat.
If they want me gone, they tired of winning, they can send me on their way because that's all we've done is win. So if they tired of winning, we've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years. Is that not good? I'm just asking. Is that good?
I'm just asking.
It's great,
I don't
but
know
not
if that's
today.
good or not. To win your league 8 out of 10 years, to go to the playoffs 7 out of 10 years, to be in 4 national championships, win it twice. Yeah, we a little down right now. Take your shots, but I got a long memory, in case y'all don't know.
Okay,
we'll be all right.
buddy.
We'll bounce back. This is a program built to last.
Ooh.
Always
Program.
has been.
10-2
Always
Clemson.
will
Oh
be.
no.
And I would just say, if you give up on us if you don't believe in us because we've lost 2 games down to the last straight, and
You're right.
you didn't believe in us anyway.
I didn't.
So
I not
it
really.
don't matter. You wouldn't all
The
in
ACC's
anyway.
bad, man.
If y'all in, you burn the ships, man. There ain't no exit strategy. Like you're freaking all in.
That's not
Hey,
safe.
listen, I mean, Clemson's tired of winning. They send me on my way, but I'm gonna go somewhere else and coach. I ain't going to the beach. Hell, I'm 55. I got a long way to go.
Okay.
Y'all gonna have to deal with me for a while. I got a long way to go. I'm just getting going. I'm just now good enough to be a head coach.
So
I'm just now good enough to be a head coach.
That bothered me, but the whole thing came off really weird. Like you're talking to yourself. It's uncomfortably
100%.
awkward silence. In that
He is
presser.
just lashing out in a major way towards, I don't know if it's him mad at himself, him mad at the fans, him mad at the boosters, him mad at the administration. He's just lashing out. And I understand where he's coming from because at the start of it, he does lay it out. We've won the conference a bunch of times. We win a lot of games, this, that, and the other. He does have 13 10-plus win seasons since taking over Clemson. 15 9-plus win seasons. Prior to Dabo, in the 105-year history of Clemson, they had just 7 10-win seasons or more and 10 9-plus season wins or more. He has completely flipped the script on that. Like, he has done a great job, and he has made Clemson into the power it has become in the ACC. But here's the issue. When did all of that occur, Alan?
Before NIL.
Or just in the past.
Yeah.
Like it occurred in the past before NIL's an even more exact.
I mean,
exact
I've been a proponent that a lot of his problems come from him not embracing NIL.
And then when he did kind of this season, he kind of went into the portal and kind of embraced NIL. Things didn't go well for him, and they're now 1-2, and it's a horrid start to the season. He had his first sub-10 win season in 2023. That was his first sub-10 win season since 2011. The trajectory of this program, which is why so many people are upset with Dabo in and around Clemson, is because the trajectory is down. The trajectory is not up. It was up. It was up. They won national championships. They were in the 4-team college football playoff. Everything was looking rosy for Clemson. Then NIL happens, and the trajectory kind of goes neutral. And then it goes down with that 9-win season. Then it kind of comes back with a 10-win season last year. And to start this year, it's down again. And it feels like Dabo is unable to recognize that the trajectory of his program is down because he's living in the past. He's living in what he has done. But I hate to break it to you, Dabo. Fans don't care about what you have done. Fans want to know what you will do and what you are doing. It's a future business. It's a present business. It's not a past business. And Dabo is living in the past. And it's going to end very poorly for him in Clemson. Let's go out to the phone lines. 804-327-0888. Espo is on line one. Good morning, Espo. How are we doing?
Doing good. Dabo sounds like the plant manager at the Buggy Whip factory, doesn't he? What are you lashing out at the press for?
Right?
I have a long memory.
I have a long memory,
I have
Espo.
a long memory? What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. I don't get it.
I mean, Kelly was the same way after the LSU win. Well, we're not talking about that. What do you mean you're not talking about that? You're talking about whatever the press wants to talk about.
It's also
you don't
like,
have to answer.
Yeah, you don't have to answer, but also, Espo, like, we've seen this in a couple of coaches around the league and around the nation. It feels like this to start this season where they're almost in this, like they want to fight the media. They want everything to be rosy. Yeah. They want only positivity written about their teams. But it's like, if you're a college football playoff team, if you're a team with national championship aspirations, which is what Clemson is, which is what LSU is, but heck, even if you're a college football playoff hopeful type of team, if you have a bad offensive performance, you know what the first questions are going to be? It's not about that you won. It's about why did your offense stink? And coaches hate that. And it feels like we're in a very just fighting mood to start this season.
Well, that's what every question in the bleachers was Saturday night is what happened to the LSU offense. That was every fan's question up there. And that's what we wanted to hear. We didn't want to hear that, we'll do what it takes to win. Look, we know that answer. These guys, they're multi-millionaires. They're big boys. They shouldn't be so, thin-skinned that they can't answer not even a tough question, but at least, a serious question. So, asking a guy, well, how'd the defense do when you shut people out is not a serious question.
Yeah, you won 20-10. Your offense looked horrible. I'm going to ask, hey, how do you guys adjust the offense moving forward when you don't get 5 interceptions from your defense?
Yeah, well, Chesney was that way too with JMU, and they were kind of softball questioning around why are you substituting quarterbacks every other play like you're a middle school team? And he was like, well, this is a system that works, blah, blah, blah. It's not a system that works. And why should we have to believe something we can see with our own eyes isn't happening? Just like Clemson. It's not happening, man.
Yeah.
Your NIL strategy is bad. Sorry.
Your coaching has kind of been bad as of late. Like it's been downhill. Without Deshaun Watson or what Taj Boyd or some of those big name quarterbacks that led them to national championships, they've been average.
Well, and listen, there are no perfect coaches or perfect players or perfect referees. I don't hold them to that standard. You only remember the bad things they do. If you make a great call, people are like, oh, well, that's just expected. But this antagonism towards the fans and via the press is crazy. You know what a sport is that doesn't have the press behind it, right? That's flag football. Everybody's up for that, right?
Exactly. Like it comes with it. You're paid millions upon millions. You're the highest paid coach in the ACC. Part of your job, a majority of your job, is answering questions from the press, good, bad, or ugly. It always bothers me when professional athletes don't like the media, and it's like, well, without the media, you wouldn't have the platform to make all of this money. You need to there are countless athletes out there that try to cry about how mean the media is. It's like they might be mean, but that's still part of your job. I'd happily take a mean media if it meant I was making $5 million a year.
You're in the attention business. That's what you do. If you don't like attention, go become the janitor at some insane asylum. You're not gonna get away from the attention in a business like entertainment.
Espo, I think that job would also get a lot of attention.
Yeah, but nobody wants to. All right, guys.
Thank you so much for calling in.
My rant on Dabo ranting.
Yeah. I love it. We're always down for a good rant. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Hope you keep ranting about Dabo throughout the day.
Nah, Dabo definitely deserves a flick behind the ear. So does Kelly.
He's so funny because he's also when you're mad and you're trying to make those jokes and you're trying to I don't know the proper way to describe it, but he definitely felt like he was just so mad he was seeing red. And then he's doing that old person thing where they're laughing after they say something that that's not really funny, but they think they made a really good point and they think they just schooled you. Where he's like, I'm 55.
I think you're describing a lecture.
Kind of, yeah.
Yes.
So he's kind of lecturing them. And look, you're figuring out now how to coach at 55. This is the best you ever been. I got breaking news for you, Dabo. You are going through your worst stretch of coaching at Clemson since you took over the job in 2007. Brother, this isn't good. You've now had 2 of your worst seasons now that you have figured out how to be a coach. And at this point, there is a very, very real chance that they will not be in control of their destiny come the end of the season in the ACC. Losing that game to Georgia Tech all of a sudden puts them well behind the 8 ball because Georgia Tech ranked 18th. They were the darling of ACC media days, and they're looking like it now. NC State's looking fine. Stanford is somehow 1-0. We know that won't hold up. But Miami's going to be better than you. Florida State's going to be better than you. SMU's a team that's expected to be good. Clemson has their work cut out for them. And in the ACC, I just don't know how they're going to make much hay with this approach and this mindset from Dabo.
What it boils down to as well is that you essentially lost to the Vandy of the ACC. And if that's not a signal that your program's at least not moving in the right direction.
Look at
in
Alabama with
2025.
Kalen DeBoer. They
Yeah, that's
lost
what
to
I'm saying.
Vandy.
They lost to Vandy, and I always go back to legend. You lost to Vandy, dude, and that's true. Like that's the reaction. I remember
You lost to Georgia Tech.
I
dude.
remember saying that about Virginia Tech. I'm like, you lost to Vandy, man. Like this was last year when
And they did it
lost.
again.
Yeah, and then they did it again. So
I do it again.
And I'm not knocking the programs because everybody's the field of play is being leveled to some extent, but you're still freaking Clemson. Ohio State doesn't drop games to Wisconsin or Indiana or any of these other
Just
teams.
Michigan.
Yeah, just Michigan, which again is like Clemson losing to Florida State. That really will give you some time. Fans won't hold it over your head as the end all be all if you win a national championship in between that. But I'm just saying, like losing to a Michigan or losing to a Florida State or something like that is one thing. But you're Clemson. You should never be losing. I'm sorry to say this, but you should never be losing to Georgia Tech. I don't care what they've done. You should never be losing to them.
You were expected to be a top team in the ACC.
With the quarterback that's projected to be one of the top
was
picks.
a Heisman projected guy.
Which
he
is
was the
awful.
preseason player of the year.
Which was awful.
And Dabo, I don't know how much money is in the boosters of Clemson. He's got a $60 million buyout, so he'll probably be sticking around for some
he's
time.
There for life.
He's there for a while, but man.
It would have to be like a Mac Brown Texas situation where it just sours relationship wise. I mean, he claimed that he doesn't listen to things or read things. Clearly he does.
He does.
Yeah, clearly
every
he
coach does. Every coach
but
does.
I don't think we're not at that level yet where the voices are getting louder for him to do certain things. I think they want to see him utilize those players that he got from the portal and utilize the portal more effectively. But as far as like the results, they could still knock off 10 straight, win the ACC, and for some reason that's good enough for Clemson fans.
It makes my mind spin. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside. Be back with more Fitz the Bill on this Wednesday morning, 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
When flying out of Richmond, just park and go. Richmond's Park and Go provides door-to-door shuttle service to the terminal, so there's no waiting, no hassle, and it's safe and secure. You can reserve your Park and Go spot in advance at bookpark.go.com or just download their app in the Play Store. They're ready for you 24/7, 365 days a year for your airport parking needs. Park and Go is also hiring for overnight office work and weekends. Call 804-652-2150 and ask for Greg or Carol.
This is Brennan Wells, the owner of Pro Weld Fabricators. We are a Richmond-based company. We are here for all of your welding projects.
Bradley Hicks here with Pro Weld Fabricators. We bring all the right tools to your doorstep. Emergency repair? No problem. We're available 24/7. For all commercial and residential needs, you need Pro Weld Fabricators. Learn more about Pro Weld Fabricators and check out some of our awesome projects at pro-weldfabricators.com.
Pro Weld Fabricators is your number one source for any of your commercial welding needs.
Hey, it's Paul Sargent, owner of All Set Auto Richmond. How would you like the best paint protection film, ceramic coating, or window tint for your vehicle? At All Set Auto Richmond, we have the products, knowledge, and experience to enhance and protect your vehicle. I personally invite you to come over and visit us at All Set Auto Richmond. We're on Mayland Drive near 64 and Gaskins. Or feel free to Google us, All Set Auto Richmond. That's ALSET Auto Richmond. Protect your vehicle from the Richmond road elements and the hot sun with All Set Auto Richmond.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Hey, this is Jack Fitzpatrick. If you've ever been in a car accident, there's one place to call, Schilling and Esposito. I know them personally. I know their work ethic. They focus on their clients and their big dog obsession with getting the most compensation for their client. Heck, they even give you their cell phone numbers. Call them today at 804-320-0950 and put their entire team to work for you. 804-320-0950. Schilling and Esposito.
Don't miss the Green Top Outdoor Expo, sponsored by Daniel Defense, the Mid-Atlantic event for hunting, fishing, and outdoor enthusiasts. October 4th and 5th, over 225 vendors featuring Beretta, Browning, and Burris. The Green Top Outdoor Expo. Details at greentop.com.
He's from just up the road at Patrick Henry High, and this Thursday, he'll be right around the corner. Richmond football captain Jordan Allen joins Coach Russ Huseman for Behind the Web. Join us Thursday, noon to 1 at Bar West, 5811 Grove Avenue, or live on the home of the Spiders. 1061 ESPN.
1061 ESPN Richmond has your chance to be part of a one-of-a-kind celebration, the 2025 Capital District Basketball Reunion, honoring the players, coaches, cheerleaders, and fans of the 1970s. It all happens this Saturday at the Richmond Raceway Complex infield, a day of tributes, memories, and reconnecting with the legends of Capital District Basketball. You can head to www.capitaldistrictbasketballreunion.com. That is a long URL, but I'll say it one more time, capitaldistrictbasketballreunion.com, to check out more information and get your tickets. We've also got a couple of tickets to give away today and throughout the rest of the day. If you want to win a pair of tickets to the 2025 Capital District Basketball Reunion, all you've got to do is call in. First person to call in, 804-327-0888. First person to call in, they are going to win a pair of tickets to the 2025 Capital District Basketball Reunion. We've got these pair of tickets to give away, 3 more to give out through the rest of the day, so keep it locked right here on 1061 ESPN Richmond as we give away the remaining tickets throughout the day. I believe Bruce won yesterday, so Bruce picked up a pair of tickets yesterday. It's your chance now. Call in 804-327-0888 to win a pair of tickets. And don't wait. Celebrate the history, the memories, and the family atmosphere of Capital District basketball. Listen, call in, and win only on 1061 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports. Find out more information at capitaldistrictbasketballreunion.com. It's this Saturday. All right, coming up, hour number 2, we're going to get started with our talk of the town. This week, it's Charles Scott Jr., quarterback at Huguenot. We caught up with him and his head coach, Charles Scott, before Huguenot's practice. It was a wet, rainy day, so we got that in real quick, and he'll be our talk of the town student athlete on the other side of this break. Also, Fitz's first fantasy look. You've got any questions? Text him in now for our fantasy segment.
Score big with the 1061 ESPN app. Listen live anywhere. Crystal clear coverage, breaking news, and Richmond's rowdiest sports debates. Tap in and turn it up.
Serving Richmond and beyond for over 20 years, Bonaire Shell features a full line of automotive services. Check out BonaireShell.com, loaded with coupons, specials, and more to see all that they can do for your car and your peace of mind. And now with their Fuel Rewards program, you can save at least 5 cents per gallon on every fill-up. Learn more at FuelRewards.com. Go see the team at Bonaire Shell, 8762 West Huguenot Road. Go to BonairShell.com or call them at 272-3232. That's 272-3232.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront at ESPN. Welcome Steve Martin and Martin Short, Saturday, September 20th.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Martin. We're so what a thrill it is for us.
Tickets on sale now. Weird Al Yankovic, September 22nd.
Well, don't you know that other kids are starving in Japan, so eat it.
Tickets are on sale now. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Virginia Credit Union Concert Series. Click on espnrichmond.com for more Live Nation concert information.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill right here on 1061 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports live from the Ortho Virginia studios in the capital of the Commonwealth. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your morning, a rainy, chilly morning started with us right here on Fitz the Bill. And you can watch the stream on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Just type in ESPN Richmond in the search bar. We'll pop right on up and you can watch live. You can comment, subscribe, and like while you're there. We always appreciate it. And drum roll, please. If only we had a drum roll sounder. Drum roll, please.
We do, but I can't find it right now.
Imagine a drum roll in your head. We've got 2 winners from our Capital District basketball reunion ticket giveaway. Franklin and Dan, they both won a pair of tickets to the Capital District basketball reunion. Thank you for calling in, Franklin and Dan. We gave away 2 pairs of tickets. Keep it locked right here, 1061 ESPN Richmond. We'll be giving away a couple more pairs of tickets throughout the day. I imagine it'll be becoming between the hours of 3 and 6.
That's a good guess. I think it's between 3 and 6.
That's going to be my guess. So, we urge you to listen all day.
Maybe you have some insider information on
we
that.
urge you to listen all day. However, 3 to 6 is probably the prime time to listen and win some more tickets if you feel so inclined to the 2025 Capital District basketball reunion. All right, it's time. Talk of the town. So we were trying to go through, figure out who had the best performance from last week. And, the early front runner was Charles Scott Jr. last week for Huguenot. We mentioned it yesterday. I've mentioned it a couple of times because the stats were mind-boggling, Alan. He threw for 409 yards. And if you throw for 409 yards, you know what your immediate thought is, right? He probably threw, 50 passes in the game. He was probably throwing.
I was going to say he played the Cowboys defense.
The Cowboys defense may have allowed him to go for 500. He threw 19 total passes. He completed 14 of them for 409 yards, 4 touchdowns. Just a crazy stat line for Charles Scott Jr., the quarterback at Huguenot. So he got our Talk of the Town Student Athlete of the Week. We caught up with him yesterday ahead of practice. It was a wet practice. It's going to be wet and rainy all week. They were trying to stay dry there before they went out to practice, but we caught up with him and his head coach, his father, Charles Scott, head coach of Huguenot, before they got to practice. And before we dive into the interview we had with the two of them, want to let you guys know that Talk of the Town on Fitz the Bill is brought to you by Dave & Buster's in Short Pump. Grab some food, crush a few arcade games, maybe brag about your win. We are where Richmond talks sports. They are where Richmond comes to play. Dave & Buster's in Short Pump, located at 4001 Brownstone Boulevard, Suite 101. Talk of the Town is also presented by Ortho Virginia. Talk of the Town rolling right along, 1061 ESPN Richmond. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Fitz the Bill, and we're joined now. Charles Scott Jr., quarterback for Huguenot, coming off of a 409-yard performance against Clover Hill in Week 2. Charles, thank you so much for taking some time. How you feeling after that 409-yard performance against Clover Hill?
I'm feeling great. I'm ready to roll into this Friday.
So walk me through that. You guys are coming off of a tough loss against St. Chris to open up the season. It's a hard-fought season opener. What was going through your mind all week through preparation, getting ready to Clover Hill that culminated in a 409-yard performance?
The team I had and what we needed to execute, and practice going into that game, we just knew we had to fix, execute, and destroy.
I mean, you go 14 of 19 through the air. I think if my math is correct, 30 some odd yards per completion out there, just slicing and dicing the Clover Hill defense. What were you seeing out there on Thursday night that let you have that much success?
My receivers, a lot of them, all my receivers I didn't grow up with and we're playing with. So it's like we got that chemistry and that bond. So no matter who we playing against or who out there, no matter what, I'm gonna find them.
Walk me through what it's feeling like in the game when you are having that chemistry with the players, when you are kind of just, it seems like effortlessly going out there. Walk me through the feelings that you were having on Thursday night.
Just fast-paced and level-headed.
I love it. Now looking at Cosby this Friday, how do you keep that momentum rolling? What you did against Clover Hill, how do you keep that rolling into this Friday night game against Cosby?
And momentum and practice the same way as we practiced that way against Clover Hill and just execute better than we did last week. So last week I threw for 409. I go this week, throw for 500.
How do you do that? How do you throw for 500?
Put it in my playmaker's hands.
I love it. I mean, hey, you make it sound simple. That makes it sound a lot more simple than it is. Kind of looking ahead overall on the season for you. What are your expectations for yourself moving through the rest of the season? Expectations for your team, for your Huguenot squad?
My expectations for me in game is to stay calm, control my team, and be level-headed as possible as I can.
Charles, thank you so much for your time. Good luck against Cosby this weekend. I appreciate it. Hopefully you stay dry out there. I know it's raining a little bit at practice, but appreciate the time. Join now Charles Scott, head coach of Huguenot. Coach, having your quarterback out there. I know he's got the junior at the end of his name too. The quarterback out there, though, throwing for 409. As a coach, what's it like watching him?
It's kind of surreal. I mean, you don't know the numbers until you get halftime numbers, and then after that, we don't know the numbers till the end of the game. So when we got the numbers that night, I was kind of shocked. I knew they was having a good game. I knew they were rolling, but 400, I was like, wow, that's something special. But they were definitely rolling, so we knew it was a lot, but we didn't know what it would be.
How nice is it to have Charles Scott Jr. as your quarterback? He said he's been with the wide receivers for so long. He's learning it. He has that chemistry with them. Just overall with the offense, is him as the signal caller. How nice is it for your team?
It's great. It's great for the team. We kind of been building up for this moment for 2 years. And like I said, he was in the same system. I mean, obviously his whole life, but he was here as an 8th grader. And then last year, we got him good in-game reps. And meaningful reps, not just trash reps. We got good, meaningful reps. So we kind of been building for this, and we're starting to see some of it play out the way we thought it would play out.
What was last week like following the St. Christopher loss, getting ready for that Clover Hill game? What was that week of preparation like for the team?
The thing about it, the guys were really locked in. At the end of the day, when you lose a game like that, especially a season opener, which we hadn't lost the opener since we've been here, it puts things back in perspective. You got to do all the little things the right way. You got to be consistent. You got to my main thing was remember who you are. Remember who we are. We know what type of team we are. We know what we're capable of. Can't let a loss like that shake your confidence. Remember who you are, but also remember what you were doing to get to the point where you feel the way you feel about yourselves. And that was it, just getting back to doing what we do and doing it the way we do it.
And how do you take that momentum from the Clover Hill game and keep it rolling going into this game against Cosby?
Well, again, every week we're approaching it like it's a state championship. We're not looking at your record. I don't care what your record is. We're just playing it as if we're preparing for a state championship that week. So we got to do everything right. So that's kind of how we're looking at every game moving forward, as if it's prep for the state championship.
I love it, Coach. Good luck this weekend, or I guess this week again against Cosby on Friday. I appreciate your time, and like I said to Charles Scott Jr., stay dry out there. I know it's a little rainy this week.
Absolutely, I appreciate you.
Checking in at number 11 in RVA Sports Network's top 12, their RVA Sports Super Poll, their top 12 Super 12 high school football poll, checking in at number 11. Huguenot, great job at bouncing back following their loss to start the season against St. Christopher. Now they've got a showdown with Cosby on Friday, 7 p.m. at home. So looking to kind of parlay that momentum they got in that Clover Hill game going forward into this game on Friday night against Cosby. Charles Scott Jr., he was very matter of fact. His goal after throwing 400 yards, he said throw 500 yards. I respect that approach. That is a great approach. Our Talk of the Town game of the week, we will be out at Thomas Dale for their game against Glen Allen. Thomas Dale playing host to Glen Allen, two teams that are ranked in RVA Sports Network's Week 4 Super 12 high school football poll, one of the games to watch by Rob Witham. So very excited to make it out to Thomas Dale as they play host to Glen Allen in what should be a really, really fun game. You can listen to Rob as he joins Bob Black and CBS 6's Sean Robertson tomorrow on Feel Good Thursday from 5 until 6. They'll be here in studio chatting it up, talking about everything you need to know, what games to watch, what players to watch, which storylines to listen for. They'll be here talking about all of that tomorrow, Feel Good Thursday. That's Bob Black with Rob Witham and CBS 6's Sean Robertson. So while they're doing that, we'll be getting set for our Friday night adventure down to Thomas Dale as they take on Glen Allen for our Talk of the Town game of the week. And Talk of the Town presented by Dave & Buster's in Short Pump, located at 4001 Brownstone Boulevard, Suite 101. Talk of the Town also presented by Ortho Virginia, 12 offices conveniently located in and around the Richmond area. You can visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why Stronger starts here. All right, we'll get a break in here. Step aside. Some fantasy football. We'll look around at the fantasy football world. Some players you should target on the waiver wire. Some players you should maybe cut, maybe get rid of. Things of that sort. And of course, we'll answer any and all fantasy football questions that you may have on our text line, 804-327-0888. That's coming up on the other side.
Incredible Cleaning Services is family owned and the locally trusted choice for homes and businesses in the Tri-Cities area since 2017. From one-time deep cleans, we also specialize in commercial cleaning and construction cleaning to regular service and maintenance cleaning. We save you valuable time. For your free estimate, visit our website at incrediblecleaningservice.com. Here at Incredible Cleaning Services, we will give you your weekend back to spend it with family and friends. incrediblecleaningservice.com.
The post-crib assembly press conference brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
You know, those instructions can be tough, and, well, you saw the outcome.
Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, I mean, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your problem?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all state situations.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis Apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
All right, the guys are at the game, so it's shopping time.
Ugh, I hate them all.
No, I mean JTV.
Jewelry television? I'm obsessed with their jewelry. Have you seen their artisan collections?
And the colored gemstone jewelry, they have gemstones I've never seen anywhere else. Plus, they even have gifts for men.
Right now, new customers receive 25% off their first purchase of $50 or more when they visit jtb.com/radio.
Did you know they have more than 90,000 products?
Maybe the game will go into overtime.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN, presented by the Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vesby bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
It's not homecoming, but Richmond football is coming home. After 3 straight road games, the Spiders play their first game of the season at Robins Stadium, hosting State PM Live. Join Robert Fish and Matt Smith this Saturday, 1:30 airtime, 2 p.m. kickoff on the home of the Spiders, 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Wednesday morning, a cold, rainy Wednesday morning, September 17th. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, out alongside as we turn our attention to a little fantasy football, that is. Fantasy football.
I was about to be like, yes, the Niners win the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's a pipe dream with Brock Purdy. Well, that leads in perfectly because the main thing we're focusing in on
better
the
not
fantasy
be advising
football.
people.
No. Well, kind of, actually.
God, I can't.
Look. We are in dire straits here. As someone who is a fantasy
sports
football
gamblers get all the heat for being degenerates and having no morals, and you're out here talking about Mac Jones.
Yeah, I am. See, I am out here talking about Mac Jones. You know why? Let's go through this real quick. You know the quarterback injuries for week 3? Week 3.
A lot of them.
We got Justin Fields. He's in concussion protocol. J.J. McCarthy. He's gone. Was he put on IR? I don't even remember.
It hurts watching him play.
If you have him on your team, RIP to you. Joe Burrow, he's out for a while. Brock Purdy, he's out for a while. Jaden Daniels is questionable. But how limited will he be? We were talking with Dr. Reyes from Ortho Virginia, and he specializes in sports medicine and he was talking about knee injuries and things of that sort. He gave some great insights on the Jaden Daniels injury and kind of how athletes have to handle knee injuries. And I mean, it's dangerous. If you go out there and you play on a strain, there is a potential that you risk further injury. And for Jaden Daniels, that's what I'm kind of worried about. And Dan Quinn has been non-committal on whether or not Jaden Daniels will play, continuously saying he's day-to-day, that sort. So I'm a little worried on it. I'm a little worried to see where Jaden Daniels is, but that just shows you that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks who are either out or their status is questionable heading into Sunday, heading into week 3. And that's a little scary because I'm a Justin Fields owner. I am a Jaden Daniels guy. I've got both on my fantasy football roster.
Hey, real quick, what was the options last week for Michael? He had the Niners and who?
Michael had the Niners. Oh, I wrote it down.
Yeah, because, man,
what did I say?
I might owe him an apology. We both said Niners.
It was Green Bay's defense or San Francisco.
Oh, my gosh. All right, well, we're 0 for 1. All
right, well, we're going to go to break then, and on that, we will never be handing out fantasy
I would have never
football.
thought Spencer Rattler would have had 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, that's what killed me.
I never would have thought that the Packers defense would make Jaden Daniels and Washington look bad.
Yeah, look that bad at least. But hey, you know what? I should use my gambling stuff there because it would tell me that on a short week on a Thursday it favors the home team. I didn't think about that. fantasy.
Yeah. Who knew?
I apologize.
Who knew? So if you are one of those, fantasy Fields, J.J. McCarthy, Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, Jay Daniels, and you're looking for a quarterback to replace him with, my number one option right now, if he is available in your league, which he may be, he may not be, is probably a between whether or not he's available. It's Daniel Jones.
Why haven't you picked him up?
Because Daniel Jones is a flash in the pan. That's what I think. But he's the QB2, albeit very early this season, but he is the QB2. Total fantasy points, 52.3. Wow. Who would have thought? He's the QB3 when it comes to points per dropback with 0.74. All of the metrics say that Daniel Jones is starting off this season real good, and you said it on Overreaction Monday. He's this year's Sam Darnold. He's this year's Geno Smith. So Daniel Jones, if he's still available out in your league, I highly recommend you go out there and pick him up. The other one is Mac Jones. Mac Jones currently the QB11 when it comes to points per dropback. His overall points number puts him near the back of the pack because he's only had one start. But his points per dropback, he's right above Caleb Williams and he's right below Patrick Mahomes at that QB11 spot. And look, I'm not saying he's going to be a league winner. I'm not saying Mac Jones is going to go out there and be some amazing quarterback who's going to get you 25 points, going to get you 30 points, and help you win the game this week. No, Mac Jones is a serviceable replacement for Justin Fields, for Joe Burrow, for Brock Purdy, for J.J. McCarthy. Go out there, you add him to your lineup, and he'll be consistent for you. It showed that he was good enough in week one in the Shanahan system.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was fine. He executed what we asked him to do. There is always the concern that the preparation is not the same that first game for a backup because you don't know. Typically, people keep that news close to the vest. And then you got to get a little bit of tape on them because there might be some nuances in this new system that you didn't see in New England. I would assume that each week you're going to get less and less likely to score a big number with him in fantasy, but the matchup this week is pretty good.
And the other quarterback I would say to maybe go out and keep an eye on, it is Geno Smith. And I know Geno's coming off of a very bad performance against the Chargers where he threw 3 interceptions and he just did not look good. However, he is consistently a middle of the road quarterback. So I wouldn't hate going out and adding him to your roster if you desperately need him, if you've been ravaged by injuries. That's what I think. We got a fantasy question, a start-sit question. In the flex spot, Jaylen Warren versus New England, so the Pittsburgh Steelers running back, or DJ Moore, the Bears wide receiver against Dallas. I would go DJ Moore because that Dallas defense just has not been looking great. They just allowed 450 passing yards to Russell Wilson. Now, Caleb Williams is a little bit more iffy. Can Caleb even get the ball to DJ Moore? But the way the snap splits have gone with Jaylen Warren, he's in a backfield where he's fighting for snaps with Kenneth Gainwell. Maybe Caleb Johnson will get some snaps. He may still be in the doghouse after what he did on kick return by letting that ball go past him. Caleb Johnson may not get a single touch for the rest of the season. He may be in Mike Tomlin's doghouse. But Jaylen Warren will be splitting some carries with Kenneth Gainwell. DJ Moore is the wide receiver one for the Bears. DJ Moore is going to get probably 20% or more of targets from Caleb Williams against Dallas. And Dallas is coming off of a game where they allowed over 400 yards of passing against the Giants. So it opens it up well for DJ Moore to have a very good performance this weekend. So if I'm going flex, here you've got a good wide receiver one in your flex. That's always an advantage. So go DJ Moore in your flex. Another quarterback maybe to keep an eye on maybe is Sam Darnold if you're really strapped with these hurt quarterbacks. But at this point, if you're in a super flex league, which means you have 2 quarterbacks starting, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
If you have no regard for your temperament during watching games. Don't watch Sam Darnold.
No, I got so
Just
mad on
set
Sunday.
it and forget it.
I got so mad on Sunday. His 2 interceptions were
It's a
absolutely
roller coaster,
abysmal.
man.
It was horrible. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Reggie is out there on line 1. Good morning, Reggie. How we doing?
Gentlemen, good morning. Great job as always. Great interview with the young man from Huguenot. I mean, I think Virginia Tech needs to talk to him.
Virginia Tech's got to be talking to everyone that we talk to, Reggie. They got to get any talent they can out of the 804 to try and bolster that team.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just going to say something that's not popular. If you look at the social life, some athletes, and look at Virginia Tech and Blacksburg, there's nothing there. I'm sorry. I done hit 81 and many a times in those mountains, and it's sad. I don't know how many people are playing Inner Sandman. I know that's blasphemy to say that, but I don't know how many people are playing Inner Sandman, or coming into that environment. You take a young man from Miami, take a young man from New York or anywhere, and do you really think he's going to ingratiate himself to that atmosphere in Blacksburg? Come on, guys, just be honest.
No, it's tough. Like, it is tough. And the fact that they haven't been winning a lot really makes it tough for players to choose Blacksburg. Like, Tuscaloosa, Alabama is not a beautiful place either, but they won so often with Nick Saban. Players and recruits could kind of overlook the fact that it's Tuscaloosa, so they're more willing to go there with the Crimson Tide. Where with Blacksburg, maybe if they were consistently ACC champs or ACC contenders, you could kind of be like, all right, I could be here for 4 years. It's a little quiet. We have our fun with our parties every weekend, but otherwise it's a little quiet. They just don't have winning, so it's then even more difficult to recruit to Blacksburg.
Well, a little insight on that too with the Tuscaloosa thing. If you the one off that I listened to the pivot and they had Micah Parsons on. And I listened to the entire podcast.
That's another place too, like Penn State. Happy Valley isn't the best place.
It was about his recruiting or the recruitment to Tuscaloosa. It sounds like Nick sold the kids on the program, not on the nightlife aspect, right? So
like Virginia Tech can't do.
Yeah, so they took him to practice. He got to see the practice, the weight room, and things like that. They kept it football. I think if you're gonna sell a kid from a more urban area on that concept to come to a rural area to play, you sell them on the sport itself. Maybe you sell the parents on the education if you've got that component to your program. But it's always like you keep it about football and
keep it about the campus.
Yeah, and so in Micah's case, he didn't want no parts of that kind of practice in that regiment. He even openly said it just felt like Penn State was a little bit easier and it was closer to home, so he ended up going to Penn State. But I think he came on a visit when Derrick Henry was there or somebody like during that class. And Derrick Henry and him were talking about it. And he was like, yeah, I saw guys just kind of like throwing up. And he was like, get back on the line. He's like, yeah, that ain't for me.
And that hot weather, let's be honest, is the weather in Penn State.
Yeah, it was hot. That's what he was saying too.
Yeah.
Yeah, really that. But I'm just saying, gentlemen, people can boost their chests out and talk about the greatness of Virginia Tech, but I mean, even Coach Michael Vick was there, and his brother. Let's not get started with the fiasco that went on back then. I mean, the craziness and the off-field problems.
Marcus was treated like royalty.
I come from a small town, man. We find other ways to have fun. Yes, sometimes it's not always legal.
That's what got Marcus in trouble.
Marcus, he was treated really well in Blacksburg. He was treated as the second coming of Michael, I think, a little bit, and things got a little away from him at times.
And campus police sometimes lose information and things like that. It happens.
Campus police wants you to play Saturday.
Yeah.
Hey, you're right. Florida, the Gators during the Urban Meyer era, they were all above board. The cops
entire
never
Georgia
anything.
State Police Department, apparently.
Florida.
Georgia gets a speeding.
Miami.
I was saying,
Georgia?
Georgia gets a speeding
Johnson,
ticket every day, man. Yeah,
Barry Switzer at Oklahoma.
Miami.
Oh my
Barry Switzer,
God.
you're right. There's always something.
Guns shooting up in the dorms and all kind of craziness, Uzis and all.
Yeah.
And people wonder how the hell you get an Uzi on the campus. No, don't get me started.
Well, you won't get an Uzi in Blacksburg, I'll tell you that.
You won't. But you get a water gun, I'll tell you that much.
No, you'll get a gun, but you won't get an Uzi.
Reggie, appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, that is a valid point he brings up when it comes to college recruiting. Like, Nick Saban got it right with Tuscaloosa. I know I'm not selling Tuscaloosa, so I'm going to show with the Longhorns. I'm going to show them Austin.
Bro,
I'm going to show them what Austin, Texas is
the
like.
Longhorns, they got jets. They got all the bells and whistles. They got Lamborghinis.
I do not know how Texas does not win every single recruiting battle.
No, seriously.
Like LSU just won. Who'd they get? Like the number 1 rated quarterback or like a number 1 rated player in the class of 27. They got a massive recruit. I'm just like, you're telling me that kid would rather play for LSU, Brian Kelly in Baton Rouge than he would rather play for Steve Sarkisian.
Don't get it twisted. LSU got some bells and whistles too, man.
And there's some Benjamins probably involved that probably grease the wheels a little bit more.
LSU as a state or Louisiana as a state is more likely to help you with some of your NIL tax stuff.
Yeah,
like there's some benefit. I mean, Espo probably can speak on it a little bit better than me, but there's some benefits to staying in Louisiana, and this dates back before Odell Beckham and stuff, man. There's always benefits.
Now that's
to being out there.
Interesting idea because like states like Florida don't have an income tax.
Yeah.
So how will that play into NIL? Granted, it doesn't really play in much when it comes to NFL contracts, but like the hidden value or the hidden cost of signing with a team that doesn't have income tax compared to a team that does have income tax, that's interesting. But
yeah, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, SMU, those universities have unlimited funds for NIL. So when a player doesn't choose that university, I just assume they don't want you. That's what I assume, because I find it really hard to think that somebody outbids them. Like you saw what Texas Tech just did in this last class, man. They've got a blank check, literally. So I would always err on the side of rural areas need to sell people on their love of football. And if you're talking to parents that you're gonna teach their kids how to be good men and things like that, was Nick's pitch pretty much. He's gonna raise your son for you. He's gonna give them an opportunity to be
NFL player.
Yeah, NFL player and an asset to society, right? Like he's raising men, and he was a man of his word. It's going to take time to rebuild Blacksburg in this program.
It's going to take time. You're going to need to get a good recruiter in there who knows how to work a transfer portal, but not only that, knows how to recruit high school kids so you can actually build a foundation, not get a flash in the pan. And also, like, I got to get this off of my chest real quick. Virginia Tech fans, stop thinking that you're important. Like, you have been an afterthought in the world of college football for well over a decade now. I see people on Twitter going, we got to go out there and we got to get Kurt Signetti. We got to get Matt Campbell. Make him say
Campbell's
no.
not coming, bro.
Kurt Signetti's not coming.
Signetti's not coming either.
You need to stop with that. Like, sure. Virginia Tech fans think that they're about to get this huge budget increase, which still has yet to be approved. That's coming at the end of the month. And even if that's the case, like, you're not at a spot where $10 million plus Virginia Tech would draw a Kurt Signetti away from Indiana. It's not going to draw Matt Campbell away. It's not going to bring Nick Saban out of retirement. Like, you're going to have to go find a diamond in the rough. Prepare yourself now. The hire will not be flashy, but the hire needs to be good. I have faith that it will be good, but it's not going to be flashy.
There's an article out there floating around from Fox Sports News or whatever where they were they suggested that Tech talk to Kirby Smart. This was back when he was an assistant on Alabama.
Someone said, I wonder what he's up to now.
Yeah. So, I mean, you gotta accept that you missed your window on a couple of talented coaches. But it's going to take time. And you're right. Like, understand. And I think Bob and Matt brought this up yesterday. I hadn't even thought about this, but I'm pretty sure Tony Elliott and Brent Pry kind of started around the same time.
Yep.
And look at the current state of your programs, right? Where UVA, the conversation surrounding them is more optimistic. And we had talked about this before the season started, that 7 wins at UVA keeps Tony Elliott's job. 7 wins in Blacksburg would get Pry fired. And Pry didn't even make it through half the season. And so if you're a Hokies fan, you have to kind of humble yourself a little bit. Even if you beat UVA this year, in the grand scheme of things, this program in Virginia Tech is taking steps back. And UVA is either neutral or going at least one step forward this year. And so you got to figure something out, and you got to be patient.
Yeah, be patient. And look, Kenny Dillingham wasn't a flashy hire at Arizona State. Look at what he's done.
I love him, man.
No, that's what, and also, like, Virginia Tech fans, get it out of your head that you're important. Get it out of your head that you're some blue blood football program. You haven't been relevant in the past 15 years.
You're getting a little too personal here. Thank you.
I'm just saying.
I know it hurts.
You're not getting. You can't go to someone and be like, "We're Virginia Tech, come here." Like you don't have that cultural cachet available to yourself. You got to find the right coach who's probably young, who's probably a group of 5 coach right now, who's had some success, who can build programs, and that's the guy. I think that's the guy Virginia Tech should target. They shouldn't be going after Shane Beamer. They shouldn't be going after Nick Saban to try to get him out of retirement. They shouldn't be going after Matt Campbell or Kurt Signetti. Those guys aren't coming because where they are at now is much better than where Virginia Tech is at. So it's a tough climb. Virginia Tech's in a very, very important spot in their overall team program history. They got to make the right hire, and it's not going to come by pulling away a coach from another P4, in my humble opinion. All right, let's get a break in here. On the other side, we'll catch up with football head coach at Richmond, Russ Huesman, as he's coming off the heels of the loss to the Tar Heels and getting prepared for the home opener against VMI. Russ Huesman joining on the other side of the break.
The post-crib assembly press conference, brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
Those instructions can be tough, and, you saw the outcome.
Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your comment?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, hack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
It's bow time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop. A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
He loves sports. He loves talking about sports. And just like you, he's got a lucky jersey that hasn't been washed for 6 seasons.
It's gonna smell like hot dog.
Jamie King is live weekday mornings from 7 to 8 on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill rolling right along. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside, and we are joined now by Richmond football head coach Russ Huesman. Coach, thank you so much for taking some time out of your morning. How you doing?
Doing fine. Good to be with you guys today.
Yeah, appreciate it. As you guys get set for your home opener against VMI, I do want to take a look back at your game on Saturday down there in Chapel Hill against UNC. What were the things that you got out of that about your team? Was there anything you learned about your team after that 41-6 setback?
Well, it's hard to gauge, to be honest with you. I think, North Carolina's got a lot of really good players. Obviously, we've got a great coaching staff. A lot of people that have tremendous experience. We knew it was going to be a tough road. But when you turn the ball over in those games, all of a sudden, and special teams show up, all of a sudden, when you look up the scoreboard at the very end, it's 41-6. And late in the about midway through the third quarter, we had it down there, and we had a chance to score to make it 20-10. And, we didn't get it in there, force a punt. And then I think we get a turnover, and then they get it to 27-6. And, it was hard to move the ball. They're really good on defense. They played good defense most of the year, other than the second half at TCU, and we knew they had good players. So when it got to 27-6, it was going to be hard. 20-10, maybe they tense up a little bit. Maybe something positive happens on our end, but we can't turn the ball over. Obviously, we can't fumble for and let them take it 70 yards, for a touchdown there, and expect to keep it close. But I give our guys a lot of credit. They played hard. They never quit. Sometimes the execution wasn't great, but for the most part, like our team, I like how hard they play.
Coach, special teams coming into the season was something you talked a lot about, kind of leading up to camp and leading up to week one. Jaden Aleshki, apologies if I'm mispronouncing his last name. Alshesky. He attempted his first field goals of the season. He had been doing point afters for you guys. How has that kicker position changed throughout? I know it's only been 3 games, but the early part of this season.
Yeah, I mean, we've been struggling all through camp, and even in the Lehigh game, we kicked a couple extra points in the Wofford game, and Jaden's been banged up a lot of camp. He's a 5th-year senior for us and chose to come back on his own, and he's a great kid. We love him, and I was glad to see him make the first one. Probably people will think I'm nuts, and crazy, but that second, I wanted to get him a second field goal, for his confidence. I wanted him to bang one through in an environment down there at North Carolina, because, like I said, our kicking has not been great. We've been concerned about it, and I was going to do anything possible to make sure that we got another field goal in there for him. I also put a backup long snapper in there who's from North Carolina. I thought that was going to be pretty cool for him to get that opportunity to go in there and snap, down there in North Carolina, his home state. And, so realistically, those 3 points meant nothing, but I think it meant a lot for our psyche on that unit, and to give guys opportunities, at that point in time. So, I feel good. He banged through both of them dead center. So hopefully moving forward, it's going to pay dividends for us.
Head coach of Richmond football, Russ Huesman, joining us this morning. Coach, you mentioned the psyche kind of having that momentum with that unit, kicking that last field goal. How do you have that psyche then play over into now your home opener against VMI on Saturday?
Well, hopefully in the kicking game, he feels really good about banging them through there, because he did it twice, on a big stage like that. And, obviously hopefully that's going to give him the confidence to do what we need to do, kicking the ball. But, that's just one phase of it. We've got to play better, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We got to execute better. We just have to be better. We have to get more explosive plays. We only had one, and that was a great catch by Isaiah Dawson down the sideline there. But, we've got to figure out ways how can we generate big plays, get over top of the coverage, break a tackle and take a long run. That has not shown up in these first three games. So, we got our work cut out for us, no question. And we got to be better on offense. I think defensively we're playing pretty solid, pretty sound, making things happen on defense. But offensively, we got to come around a little bit more.
You mentioned explosive plays. How else can you get this offense going and try to kind of kick them into gear?
Well, it's been really, really hard these first three games, especially offensively. Defensively, we got a lot of, experience back, with fourth and fifth year guys, especially up front on the defensive line. We've got a lot of experience. We've got some experience at linebacker. So you feel good because, obviously that's a critical spot. Up front on the offensive line, we've got guys, at least three, sometimes there's four at any one time, that are all redshirt freshmen that played in their third game of their career against North Carolina. We're extremely, extremely young up front on offense. And then losing our tight end, we're young at tight end now. That's not a great recipe there. We just got to get these guys to grow up and continue to work with them and get reps. But, if you don't feel great about, and especially this week, protection, we didn't want to, we weren't sure how well we could protect with their pass rush people. So it kind of makes it a little difficult. I think we've got talented players up front that are capable. We're so young. It's mind-boggling how young we are. And then, in that game, Trey Gray, our best offensive lineman, he went down in the third quarter, and now we're even younger. But they'll get better. Mike Cummings, our offensive line coach, he'll do a great job with them, and we'll improve as the weeks go by.
How do you get the young guys to grow up in season? Like, there is that youngness and they have to grow up. How do you do that week over week during practice and through games? How do you get them to kind of grow up in real time?
Just reps. Whether it's reps in practice, getting those types, but, it's reps in games. Game speed is a lot different than practice speed. And you got to get reps and just work to get better. And, you'll see something, it'll be the first time you've ever seen it in your entire life, or, see something that you practice, but it's just so much faster. They'll get used to the speed of the game, and they'll get used to this stuff. I'm really confident that, we can be decent up front, no question, but hopefully we're learning. Hopefully these three games have taught us some lessons, and we'll get better there.
And Coach, you return home now on Saturday, facing off against VMI. What is it going to take for your team in their first home game of the season to defend Robins Stadium?
Well, I know VMI will come in here and play well. They always are a tough out. They play hard. They're disciplined. They do the fundamentals. Still have a great turnout here. They'll have great fan support for this game. It's going to be a huge test for us. They've got good players. They're well coached, and we're going to have to play a lot better than we've been playing, especially on the offense side of the ball these last 3 weeks. If we can continue to play the defense we've been playing, I feel good about that side of the ball. But, we're going to have to generate offense. And, it's probably going to be hard to do against these guys. I think they're pretty good. They know their scheme. They're really good at it. So we got to figure out ways. How can we generate big plays? How can we get the chains going? And but it'll be a test. I mean, again, they'll be fired up to play. I guarantee they'll be fired up to play, and we'll be fired up to play. And so it should be a great atmosphere. And we're so happy to be at home. I mean, it seems like it's been forever, since we've been at home and played at Robins Stadium there. And I know our guys will be fired up to play at home.
Well, what's it been like with those 3 games to open the season, all on the road? I mean, that's a tough road schedule to open it up. To what does it feel like now after we're like a month into the season, it feels like, to finally return home?
It'll feel great. Somebody asked me that after the game. You excited about a home game? I said, oh, man, so excited. So excited to be home. It's always fun to play at home. It's always, to be here in front of, your crowd. So our guys will be fired up to play at home and just not getting on a bus. I mean, the first 2 trips were pretty long trips. This one, North Carolina, was fairly easy. I mean, it wasn't a bad trip at all, but first 2, can grind on you pretty good.
Yeah. Coach, good luck this Saturday. Finally back home. No road trip to worry about, and just kind of dive into it that way. Appreciate your time. Good luck this Saturday against VMI.
Thanks. Appreciate you guys.
There goes Richmond football head coach Russ Huesman as they get set for their game on Saturday, 2 p.m. kick. You can listen to it right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond as they face off against VMI in their 2025 home opener. So you can also, if you don't want to listen to it right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, head on out to Robins Stadium on the campus of the University of Richmond to watch them open up their home season against VMI. Richmond comes into the game 1-2 with a win over Wofford back on September 6th. Fell to Lehigh 21-14 to open up the season, and trying to come off of a 41-6 loss against North Carolina down there at Chapel Hill, their lone FBS opponent of the 2025 season. They've got one other game after VMI before they dive into the teeth of the Patriot League. We'll be joined by Russ Huesman next week as well to recap the VMI game and look ahead to Howard and beyond for the Richmond Spiders season. All right, we'll take a quick break. Be back with more Fitz the Bill right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Hey, it's Paul Sargent, owner of All Set Auto Richmond. How would you like the best paint protection film, ceramic coating, or window tint for your vehicle? At All Set Auto Richmond, we have the products, knowledge, and experience to enhance and protect your vehicle. I personally invite you to come over and visit us at All Set Auto Richmond. We're on Mayland Drive near 64 and Gaskins. Or feel free to Google us, All Set Auto Richmond. That's ALSET Auto Richmond. All Set Auto Richmond. We can take any vehicle from ordinary to extraordinary.
Are you suffering from a sports injury? chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here. Hey, this is Jack Fitzpatrick. If you've ever been in a car accident, there's one place to call: Schilling and Esposito. I know them personally. I know their work ethic. They focus on their clients and their big dog obsession with getting the most compensation for their client. Heck, they even give you their cell phone numbers. Call them today at 804-320-0950 and put their entire team to work for you. 804-320-0950. Schilling and Esposito.
Your trash is treasure at CNC Colored Recycling. From copper wire to radiator ends, cans to lead batteries, CNC Colored Recycling will pay cash or check for your unwanted scrap metal. No load is too large or too small. Don't dump it, recycle it, and get paid at CNC Colored Recycling, just south of Maple Street on Route 1 in Ashland. Free local container services available too. CNC Colored Recycling, open every weekday and a half day on Saturday. Check the latest cash scrap prices online right now at cccullet.com. That's CCCULLET.
1061 ESPN, home of Border to Border with Matt Josephs. Dive into Virginia's hottest sports topics daily. Agree or argue. Matt's got the takes you can't ignore.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Wednesday morning, September 17th. A wet and rainy one out there. It's chilly. I woke up this morning, Alan, and I was cold. I haven't been cold getting into my car in quite some time.
I am usually cold getting in my car over the last week because, well, I probably get up like 2 hours earlier than you.
And you're in your car 2 hours early? Man,
yeah, I'm here.
What time are you waking up? Like 3 a.m.?
Nah, 3, 4.
Jeez Louise, man.
I mean,
too early.
I got to be here by 6. And then,
That's too early.
Sometimes I have to like procrastinate and whatnot. I have to do things that I should have did before I fell asleep on the couch watching football.
True. That's always how it goes. I get it. I
need at least an hour to make up for the things that I was told to do before I went to sleep. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. It never happened.
That's fair. I get it.
Even my son's hip to it now.
So we started today's show with talking about the tush push. And I want to wrap up the show talking about the tush push because that's on everyone's mind when it comes to this.
It is.
It just, have you seen Jordan Mailata?
No, I have not, but he sounds like Bane. Have you ever listened to him?
Yeah, we played one of his sound bites this morning when you decided to leave us.
Oh, okay. That's what we're telling people.
When I kicked you out of the studio.
Yeah.
Mailata brought it back up and brought it back into the news where he was saying it is a football play and it's rubbish. I can't do an Australian accent.
Yeah.
It's rubbish. People are saying that's why we won the game, not because of our great defense and special teams. And like, would I ever say this to Jordan Mailata's face?
You would not.
Maybe.
No,
he seems like a nice guy.
No, you would not.
Seems like we could have a very good debate about this.
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it either. But like, he's right. It is a football play. But at the end of the day, the NFL is an entertainment product, right? The NFL is all about getting eyeballs onto the screen. And at the end of the Chiefs-Eagles game, you know what happened? The eyeballs left the screen because we knew what was going to happen. It was 3rd and 2 late in the fourth quarter. We know there's going to be at least one tush push, if not two. It's going to get the first down. They have a 100% success rate when it's that type of setup. And bing, bam, boom, they got the first down, and that was how they won the game. So, yeah, I get what he's saying. You know, it is a football play. It's not why we won, but Jordan Mailata, it is a pretty big reason why you won. And it was pretty, I mean, football's a game of plays and you can't point to just one play, blah, 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 every single cliche, but it's the end of the game and you can pretty clearly point to one play at the end of the game on why they won. You can point to 7 plays throughout the game that they ran that was pretty clear why they won because they run the tush push 7 times on Sunday in that win over the Chiefs. And I'm not saying the Chiefs are the better team. The Eagles are the best team in the NFL right now, with or without the tush push, but the tush push just takes it to another level. And look, I was on the side of keeping the tush push when they tried to vote to ban it over the offseason. I flipped, though, because, you know, if you're not going to officiate it correctly, it takes away so much from the game. It loses entertainment value. Sure, it's a football play, but it's not what football is meant to be. And it's not necessary in today's game. All right. tomorrow, we've got some giveaways tomorrow. We've got some giveaways later today. We have one more pair of tickets. So technically 2 tickets, but 1 pair left to give away for the 2025 Capital District Basketball Reunion. I heard it through the grapevine. A little birdie told me, keep it locked between 3 and 6 p.m. today, and we'll be giving away 1 more pair of tickets to the Capital District Basketball Reunion. If you didn't get any of the tickets we were giving away and you still want to attend, you can purchase your tickets and find out more information at capitaldistrictbasketballreunion.com. But keep it locked between 3 and 6 p.m. today, right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. We'll be giving away our last pair of tickets, so you do not want to miss it. And tomorrow, we might start giving away some Spiders tickets as they have their home opener this Saturday against VMI. So keep it locked right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond for your chance to win a couple of Spiders tickets for their game against VMI on Saturday. 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports, and we're going to keep talking sports all day. Clinton and Friends up next. At noon, it's the Rich Eisen Show. At 3, it's Border to Border with Matt Josephs. That takes you into the mashup hour with Matt and Bob Black takes you right on home with the Sports Huddle until 6 p.m. And we've got Talkin' Dukes tonight from 6 until 7. We've got head coach Bob Chesney joining.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside.